Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Naso from IPR with the latest on the tropics. Hurricane season 2013. Surprisingly not very active. In fact, we have yet to see a major hurricane on September 13th, and we have only seen one hurricane, and that was Humberto, which is now no longer a hurricane. We're currently on Ingrid, so the number of named storms, we've surpassed quite a few for about an average to slightly above average year, but as far as hurricanes and major hurricanes, we are well below average, and the next storm is Jerry, and I'm thinking we're going to see a couple more named storms, and we'll see if October or November have any late season threats, especially in the Caribbean. Now, I did want to show you the latest satellite image of the western Atlantic basin because we have a real mess out there. Off the coast of Mexico, we have Tropical Depression, which is on its way to becoming Tropical Storm Manuel, which is expected to slam into the Mexican coastline, bringing heavy rain, and it's in association with Tropical Storm Ingrid, which is down here in the Bay of Campeche, and right now it looks as though Ingrid is getting somewhat close to making landfall, but there's always the chance that it loops around and kind of parallels the coast further north, which would cause us to see more intensification. You can also see this wind shear here just fanning out over the central and eastern Caribbean. Nothing is going to break through that. You're not going to see any Hurricane Ivans or Hurricane Dennis type tracks when you have wind shear of a very high degree blowing through the Caribbean Sea. Now here's the latest on Tropical Storm Ingrid as of 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Ingrid was at 19.4 north, 95.4 west. Winds were 45, gusting to 60. It was nearly stationary, so it's not moving a whole lot, although it may have scooted a little towards the southwest in the latest satellite images, which I'll show you in a second. 999 millibars is the pressure, so it's not so much the environment, or at least not what the environment would be in a couple of days, as much as it's so close to land that it might not have an opportunity to strengthen. But again, the forecast track, it could come inland very quickly, maybe in the next couple of hours, or it could end up winding around out here for a while and then coming much further north, even passing the Rio Grande once it would move inland. So that leaves a very high area of uncertainty. It could come inland tonight, Friday night, or it could wait until sometime on Monday. That is a huge difference because of the way the coastline slopes and because of the direction of approach of Ingrid. You can see the wind field is very tiny, but there are tropical storm force winds, gusts as high as 60 miles an hour with Ingrid as we continue to watch it here. Now on the satellite imagery, you can see here's our tropical storm, and definitely the rotation there not well defined, very close to the coastline. Definitely land interaction and wind shear is having a toll on it, especially since the development of the system in the eastern Pacific. And you can see those clouds fanning off in this direction here. That is unfavorable, and we don't see anything resembling twisting or turning or an eye wall or anything like that. So as of right now, Ingrid does not look that good at all. Here's the latest model guidance, and you can see the current motion very slowly would take it right into Mexico, but the models indicate it's going to mill around, come back around to the west, although some are now even saying it's going to bend back southwest, which is a difference from about 12 hours ago where some were taking it straight on towards the northwest. So there is uncertainty. The bottom line, very, very, very heavy rain for Mexico. You saw what happened in Colorado. The Mexican coast is just as, if not more, vulnerable. Mudslides, torrential downpours, everything we're going to have to be dealing with this tropical storm. We do have Humberto out there, and was a hurricane. It's forecast to briefly become a hurricane again, but turn out to sea. We're not going to see much out of that. And here's the latest satellite image of and you can see it's totally exposed here, drying out. But again, with this large circulation, Humberto should be rather resilient. So it should be around for the next week or so, and we're going to have to deal with it. Hopefully not as long as we had to deal with Nadine last year. That was a long time watching Nadine. And we do have Gabrielle, of course. Gabrielle regenerated. It's expected to become a tropical storm before coming up here near the Canadian Maritimes. Winds 35, gusting to 45. It's racing north-northeast at 23, 1,007 millibars. And again, when you look at the Atlantic, you can see the tail end of Gabrielle down here. Ingrid, the developing Eastern Pacific system. The wind shear across the Caribbean, a little wave approaching the islands we'll keep an eye on, but it doesn't appear that anything's coming of that yet. So a real messy time in the Atlantic tropics, but we'll see how things progress. Right now, Ingrid's the biggest threat as it moves towards Mexico as a tropical storm with heavy, heavy rainfall. I'm Mike Naso. I'll see you next time.